Evening peeps, good evening everyone. How's everyone doing? Hopefully you guys are all doing well. Don't forget, hit that subscribe button. If you guys are new to the channel, don't forget as well to like and share the vids. We're only a couple of hundred away from 41,000 subscribers, which is crazy. Honestly, it's crazy. I can't thank you guys enough. All the new subscribers, of course, the old school subscribers. We are going to do a meet and greet once we get to 50,000. Hopefully that's in the summer sometime, so the weather's going to be good. Some food, some drinks, a bit of music, the green chair. Should be fun. All right, let's see what there is to talk about from the world of boxing today. Let's start with this one. Nonito Donaire, Alexandro Santiago approved for the vacant WBC title. Date and location to be confirmed. Donaire just keeps on going, doesn't he? I thought he might call it quits after the Inoue defeat. But no, he wants to continue fighting. Donaire must be 38 or 39. How old is Nonito Donaire? 40. I don't know, man. If he's still getting the big fights, and this is a big fight, then it's difficult to tell these guys to hang him up. I thought, I could be wrong, but I'm sure he retired after the first Inoue defeat and then said, you know what, let's keep going. And that was 4 years ago, around that, 3-4 years ago. I don't know. Look, he's had a fantastic career. What is he, a 4-5 weight world champion? He would have made a lot of money. So many different world titles. I don't know what he's still doing it for, but hey, fighters will be fighters, right? I think we spoke about this one yesterday, but British Boxing Board of Control's Robert Smith, Benn must prove innocence to fight in the UK again. We touched on it in a video yesterday. It was interesting reading a lot of you guys' comments. Look, look, we know how this is going to play out. Benn will fight abroad. That I have no doubt in my mind that Benn is going to have a fight, I would say, in the next 4 or 5 months in the Middle East. I don't think it'll be in America. I'm not quite sure about those Italy or Spanish cards. I think they may be a bit too small. I doubt Matchroom are going to go to Australia anytime soon. I mean, they can because they've got some decent Australian fighters, but I think he's going to have a fight in the Middle East. But then again, I think it just leads to more problems because it still means there's this massive grey area with Conor Benn, the British Boxing Board of Control, and UKAD. And it needs to get sorted out because, again, it doesn't look good on Conor Benn, does it? Eddie Hearn says Joshua willing to fight Fury in the summer if Usyk match falls apart. I don't think it will fall apart. I think it will get sorted. I've spoken to a few people that are close to the situation and they're confident that it's just a case of both fighters sort of bringing their own maybe fee that they want a bit closer to each other. So say it was, I don't know, what's Fury want here, 60-40? Maybe if Fury drops it a bit to 55-45, the fight happens. I don't think it's a 50-50 fight. I mean, in terms of titles, it is. Usyk's got 3 titles. Fury's got the ring and the WBC. He's the lineal champion as well. So in terms of titles, it probably is a 50-50 fight. But if the fight's going to be at Wembley Stadium, and we're led to believe it will be, then Fury should take a higher percentage. Not a lot, but should take a higher percentage. And I think a 55-45 is fair, or even a 60-40. But let's hope this fight gets announced because this is the biggest fight that can be made in boxing. It is. I know a lot of you might say other fights, Bivol, Beterbiev, maybe Spence Crawford. No. The undisputed heavyweight title fight is the biggest fight. It is by some distance. So let's hope it happens. Dalton Smith, Sam Maxwell, likely April 29th in Sheffield. I spoke to Dalton Smith today. He's obviously got his fight on the weekend. Sam Maxwell's on that card as well. He opens, I think, the fight card. I think he fights early, like 4:30 or something. Sam Maxwell's coming off a defeat. Let's not forget that. I remember watching Sam. Who was it against? I need to bring it up. But I remember being at that fight. Oh man, I think it's Ennis Brown. My memory's really bad. Yeah, Akeem Ennis Brown. And he lost that fight. He lost that fight. I thought Akeem Ennis Brown was unlucky. And then he got beat. He got stopped in his next fight. He's had a fight after that. Sorry, this is the fight now that he's having. So for me, he's lost his last 2. He'll get through Sean Cooper. I'll be very, very surprised that he doesn't. And look, he's still got a Commonwealth title. He's got that Commonwealth belt. He was the British champion. Dalton Smith obviously took that one up. So it's an easy fight to make. I expect Dalton Smith to comfortably beat Sam Maxwell if they were to fight. I think Dalton Smith's a very, very good fighter. Let's talk about the fight card on the weekend. I was there, as I said, at the press conference. Leigh Wood looks in fantastic shape. Mauricio Lara looks very, very tight at the weight. I was watching him do a lot of these interviews, and it's a lot of interviews he's doing. He done quite a few YouTube channels, and there was a time when he sat down. Like, he was just tired. He sat down. But he looks really, really drained. But these guys have a way of... Look, I remember thinking Devin Haney looked awful against Kambosos. And they have a way of rehydrating themselves to the point where as long as they can just make the weight, they're fine. No matter what it takes out of them, they're fine. So I think come Saturday evening around 10 o'clock, Mauricio Lara will be fully hydrated and will be walking into that ring a man possessed. He will be. I do also believe that whoever wins this fight is the number one in the division. This is two guys, I think, in the top 6, top 5, maybe, fighting. I don't know how you guys have it. You could even maybe make it a bit tighter. Now that Ray Vargas has left the division, Emmanuel Navarrete has left the division, you could say this is 2 top 4 guys fighting. There are other good featherweights out there. Obviously, Michael Conlan's a very good featherweight, but Leigh Wood's beat him. A lot of people think Robeisy Ramirez could be the number 1 in the division. He takes on Isaac Dogbo. They fight for the vacant WBO title that Navarrete vacated and going up. Who else is there? That's Mark Magsayo. He's fighting Brandon Figueroa. I think, I could be wrong, but I think they could be fighting for the vacant WBC. That's a belt that Magsayo had. Just to give you a bit of history, Magsayo had that belt after beating Gary Russell Jr., but then Magsayo lost it to Ray Vargas, who went up recently and lost, so there's a vacant belt. So many different people have belts. Then you've got Luis Alberto Lopez, who beat Josh Warrington for the IBF. So what I'm getting at is that the belts are all over the place. But what we 100% have now is 2 guys, for me, in the top 4 fighting each other. Thus, I think the winner of this one is the number 1. And look, if it is Leigh Wood, I mean, Leigh Wood's run of Zhu Can or Can Zhu, Michael Conlan and Mauricio Lara is no joke. That's a fantastic run. Honestly, it's a fantastic run. And I mean, to do this so late in his career as well, he needs to be applauded. Leigh Wood's 34 years old. I mean, Leigh Wood put a tweet out 2 years ago or something. I can't remember what it is. He put a tweet out basically saying, look, I'm British champion. I think he was at the time. And he was like, I can't even get a fight. I'm struggling. I can't get a fight. And now look, he's going to fight in front of a sold out crowd, not in a arena, against the boogeyman. And he's the WBA Featherweight champion. Like, the come up from Leigh Wood in the last couple of years has been incredible. He's a star I didn't even expect to be a star. He's that now. That all being said, he's fighting someone who just has this, there's an aura of just being a killer, like a destructive menace who will walk through whatever you can do, and he's gonna make you question yourself and make you dig deeper than you've ever dug before. I actually think that Leigh Wood's fight against Michael Conlan, by the way, it's a completely different style. Conlan was a southpaw, tricky, slick. I was ringside for it. But that, having to come through that kind of adversity and knowing that you can get up off the canvas and you can dig deep when you need to, I think that's going to benefit him a lot in this fight, because he might have to do exactly that again. He might have to get up off the canvas. He might have to start digging deeper than he's ever digged. I mean, look for reserves that he didn't know was there. He might have to, because Lara is... I mean, I asked Lara about, what would it mean to you to become a world champion? Bear in mind where he's come from in Mexico. I mean, like, really living tough and dirty and gritty. What would it mean to become a world champion? He spoke about his family. He spoke about his mother. He spoke about friends. He spoke about sort of that being his dream. And boy, I also spoke and asked him about the atmosphere. But he started laughing. In fact, we did it for a translator, and he could kind of understand the question I was asking. So before the translator even told him, he was laughing, because I said something along the lines of, when you fought Josh Warrington at Headingley And by the way, I mean, the Leeds fans were as brutal as they could get to him. I said, does that excite you? Are you scared of that? And he just started laughing. So, yeah, I know Nottingham Arena is going to be incredible, but I almost feel like that will give him a bit more energy. I don't think that scares him at all, one bit. So, look, I think we've got a hell of a fight. I really do. I don't think anyone's prediction, like you guys could write any of your predictions down. I don't think anyone could be wrong here. I mean, Leigh Wood could get knocked out in the first round. Leigh Wood could put Lara down in the first round. Leigh Wood can punch, you know. They both got very similar records. I think Lara's 28-2. Leigh Wood's 26-2. I think Lara has 18 knockouts. Leigh Wood's got like 17 or 18. It's very, very close. Both of these guys can hit. Lee's probably the better boxer of the two. That being said, I have watched a few Lara fights recently, and I mean, he has underrated technical ability. Underrated. And you know, he tricked everyone. I remember the Josh Warrington fight. Go and watch it, yeah? The first fight. The pad work he did in the lead up. So he's doing this pad work, and I remember I even did a video about it, like laughing, like, what's this? Like, who is Eddie rolled out here? His pad work was disgraceful. It was pretty much like the pad work I did recently with AJ. It was embarrassing. I remember thinking, yeah, he obviously was tricking people, because when he got in the ring, he was a killer. His pad work the other day was sensational. Like, you know, you get those pads where people like to kind of do that, don't they? Like the person holding the pad likes to slap almost the guy that's punching. So it's this double force. It sounds so loud. The guy was holding the pads like that, and he was punching through the pads, old school punching through the pads. Very reminiscent of, and look, I'm going to name drop here, and he hasn't got the same kind of power, but go and watch Gerald McClellan hitting pads with Emmanuel Stewart on, just type it in YouTube, pad work, real pad work. So, yeah, he's a force. Gun to the head, I think he could, no, gun to the head, I think he will win. I think he will. I think he's the favourite. He's the bookie's favourite, by the way. Like, Leigh Wood's 4-1. The last time I saw 4-1 for a champion in his own backyard. Wow. So yeah, Mauricio Lara's odds on to win. I can kind of understand that. But I wouldn't be shocked if Leigh gets this done. But gun to the head, I'm going Lara to win mid to late, 6-8. But I pray to God Leigh gets it done, because I've been around Leigh now for a few years, and such a great guy. Honestly, such a great guy that's waited and waited and waited. Eddie tells a story actually of Carl Froch. This is how long Leigh's been around. Remember, Leigh's 34. Carl Froch must have gone to Eddie and said, "Can we get Leigh on the card?" You know, I think Leigh Wood might have been 4-5-0. Like, can you get him on the card? He can't get any fights. That's how long Leigh's been around. And slowly but surely, he's bided his time, and now look at him, headlining, main event, sold out. If he wins, it's him versus Josh Warrington in the summer at the City Ground. Leeds versus Forest. If you're not a football fan, do your research. That's carnage, mate. That's blood on the streets. Gervonta Davis pleads guilty in hit and run. Oh, very quickly. Sorry. Gary Cully's fighting on this card. He's fighting a guy called, I think, Wilfredo Flores. I think that's the name. I like Gary Cully a lot. I'm sold on him. I'm not trying to say he's going to go all the way. I'm not saying that. But he has something special about him. There's something about him. The way he talks, the way he fights, his confident levels. I like him. He's one of my favourite fighters now. And hopefully he goes and does big things. Gervonta Davis pleads guilty in hit and run case in Baltimore. Sentencing set for May 5th. I like how the sentencing is set for after the Gervonta Davis Ryan fight. I just hope he sorts himself out, man. Look, I mean, look, we can all have accidents, right? So I'm not trying to label him anything. But it's the hit and run part, which is just, what you doing? You're Gervonta Davis. Why are you running? It's not like they're not going to know who you are, what you doing. Sort yourself out. But yeah, look, it doesn't impact his fight. Hopefully that gets announced very, very soon. We're so close, aren't we, to Fury, Usyk, Tank, Ryan. We're so close to a few big ones being announced. Let's hope we get some announcements in the next couple of weeks. Tim Bradley, no doubt Bivol beats Beterbiev if they fight. Beterbiev has a puncher's chance. You shut the fuck up. Just a puncher's chance. I'm the biggest Bivol fan there is, but I'm telling you now, Beterbiev has more than just a puncher's chance. He's not just a puncher. He's smart. Go and watch the yard fight. It's not just a puncher. He starts to read you. His timing's good. Puncher's chance. Fucking hell, mate. Eddie Hearn says Edgar Berlanga must prove his value to get shot at Canelo. Yeah, look, sign with Eddie. Let's see what Eddie can do with him. What's his record? I'm guessing he's about 20-0, Edgar Berlanga. So look. Edgar Berlanga is 20-0. 20-0, 16 knockouts. His last 4 fights, though, have all gone the distance, which isn't me digging him. It's because the first 16, like, no one got out of the first round. First 16 fights, all 16 knockouts. And then they stepped him up just a little bit to Demond Nicholson. And that went all the way. And then what fight was it where I thought he lost? It was this fight. Marcelo Caceres. I thought he lost that fight. Berlanga got put down hard in round 9. But look, he's an unbeaten fighter. He's got popularity. He's still young. He can build. And he opens up that, or continually opens up that New York market for Eddie Hearn. So Eddie's not going to mind. All right, anything else? Joe Joyce expects chin to be tested by Zhang Li. That is the most obvious statement ever. I mean, Joyce doesn't have defense, does he? So his chin is gonna get tested, and he's probably gonna, as he's always done, come through it. But I think Zhang is gonna cause him some problems. I just feel like Joyce is gonna cause him more problems. So yeah, Joyce will win that one. Anything else? Should we quickly jump on? Let's go Michael Benson's Twitter. What we got? Is anything decent? If not, we are going to bed because it is midnight. 2 secs. Conor Benn here, saying I'm coming back on some savage shit. Period. Like, again, let's just get this shit sorted, man. It's just now becoming a bit draining on everyone. The BT Sport pay-per-view price for Jake Paul versus Tommy Fury on February the 26th will be $19.95. No comment. All right, let's end on this. Lawrence Coley, Riakporhe, fighting at Creed, or they clashed at Creed. Spencer Fearon getting in the middle and stopping it. Old school Spencer, they respect their elders, as they say. I spoke to Spencer today. I FaceTimed him. I was like, Spence, was that set up or was it real? And he was like, brother, I'm telling you now, it was real. And if I wasn't there, they would have swung at each other. So a lot of people have said it's fake and they're trying to sell it and blah, blah, blah. These guys aren't fighting next, people. They're not fighting next. I mean, they do fight. You're talking end of the year, maybe even next year. So this is just genuine. This is 2 guys that, remember, they did a little video thing for Sky Sports, and both of them kind of, was saying a few words to each other. And this is the first time they're meeting since then. This is 2 guys that want to fight each other. Riakporhe wants to fight Coley. Coley wants to fight Riakporhe. 2 fighters in the midst of each other. It happens. It's not the first and it won't be the last time. But I just wanted to know if it was genuine. Spencer, who I certainly trust, said it was. So, yeah, watch this space for that fight. Back end of the year, maybe 2024. All right, we're gone. We are done. Peace and love.